Hello and welcome to another video. This channel of water is called Abuto no Seto, or the Abuto Strait, and the path I'm walking along leads to Bandai Temple, which is better known as Abuto Kannon. In my opinion, Abuto Kannon is one of the most impressive inland sea landscapes in the whole of Hiroshima Prefecture. But I have to say, it's also one of the scariest. You'll see why when we get there. Bandai Temple, or Abuto Kannon, is best known for its Kannon door, which is a building that sits on what can best be described as a big rock, looking out over the inland sea. The building was built in 1573. You'd think that a temple in a place like this, right by the sea, would be to pray for the safety of sailors or something like that. But in actual fact, Abuto Kannon is well known as a place where people come to pray for safe pregnancy and childbirth. Anyway, this is the view out over the inland sea from just before the entrance to the temple. The area inside the temple is relatively small, and as you can see, it's built right by the strait. I'm not sure what this little bowl sort of thing is. It's certainly not for washing hands, but I did rather like the fact that it had what I assume are chrysanthemums, I may be wrong, and red leaves in it. This is where you're supposed to purify your hands, basically just rinse them, before heading up, and I do mean up, to the Kannon door. And these are the first steps up to the Kannon door. And when you get up to this landing, you get the first view of just how precipitous the position of the Kannon door is. It's built upon the rock you can see to the right of the picture. From the landing you can go up to the Kannon door itself, or you can go down to, well, basically the sea. We'll go down first. I'll tell you one thing, I wouldn't want to do these steps on a rainy day. Once you're down to, well, basically sea level, there's this fairly short path to a monument just on the headland you can see coming into view now. Anyway, let's take a walk up to the monument. I have to say, I'm not quite sure what this is a monument to, or maybe who it's a monument to. Whoever or whatever it is though, there's a very, very fine view out over the inland sea from here. I'm fairly sure that the long, low island you can see in the distance is Hiroshima. I've been there once, a long time ago, and only for a short time, but it might be worth visiting again and making a video sometime soon, so please look out for that. I came by bus to Abuto Kannon, but looking at the map, the walk from the closest realistic bus stop looked relatively short. It wasn't. It was about 4 kilometers. So I'm later getting here than I intended to be, and as you can see, the sun is starting to set. Having said that though, it's quite a beautiful view. I think this is a pretty good shot to show you just how precarious the location of the Kannon is. As you can see, it's built on the top of this rock, and the right hand corner just there seems to be built on nothing really, and as you can see it's a fairly steep drop, I think a vertical drop, to the sea. Anyway, I think it's time to take a walk up to the Kannon now. From the landing I showed you earlier, these are the steps up to the Kannon. Certainly that corner looks very much like it's built on nothing. Don't get me wrong, it's been here since 1573, so I'm relatively confident it's safe, but I'm also very sure, because I've been here before, that walking around that open corridor thing, you can just see, is really scary. You'll see how scary when I get up there. Okay, up to the Kannon itself. You have to take your shoes off to walk around the wooden veranda, and I actually took a look before I walked up here. There were nobody's shoes, so from that I'm fairly confident there's nobody up here on the veranda. Anyway, the veranda of the Kannon itself. I hope you can see how narrow this is, and how low that, I hesitate to really call it a fence, but how low that fence is. And this is the view out over the inland sea from that veranda. It's a spectacular view, but it is pretty scary. One thing I don't think I can show you really is actually that the veranda slopes outwards. So it's almost like it's trying to make you slip over the fence and into, well, oblivion would be one word for it. I said earlier that the temple is a place to pray for safe childbirth, and actually within the Kannon there are hundreds of padded, I hope, breasts. Anyway, there's nobody else up here, which I suppose is one of the benefits of coming rather later than I'd hoped to. So let's take a slightly better look around. So right by the veranda is this beautiful stone lantern. Perhaps you can see from this shot just how much the floor of the veranda is sloping away from the building. And today was pretty windy, very windy in fact, which made it even more scary. Another shot of the side of the Kannon and the view out over the inland sea. I could look at this view all day and never tire of it. I wouldn't want to necessarily look at it from this veranda though, it really is too scary. Having been complaining for most of this video about just how scary this veranda actually is, I did nevertheless go for another walk round. I certainly wouldn't want to fall off here, and before you ask, don't think I went that close to the edge myself. I used an extending selfie stick sort of thing. I'm not that stupid. Anyway, I think it's just about time to come down from the veranda while I'm still in one piece and before I do anything stupid. So that's about it, I think, for this video. If you find yourself in Hiroshima Prefecture, especially in the Fukuyama area, then Abuto Kannon is really worth a visit. As I say, for me, it's one of the most beautiful places in the prefecture, especially as far as the inland sea scenery is concerned. It's very definitely not the easiest of places to get to, especially not by public transportation. There is a bus from Fukuyama station which goes to a bus stop, let's say closer than 4 kilometers walk away from Abuto Kannon, but that bus only runs twice a day, I think, possibly only once. So realistically, it's not that much of an option. However, if you do make the effort to visit, I'm sure you will feel that it's been worth the while. For now though, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this little look at Abuto Kannon. If you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like or a thumbs up, and I hope to see you in another video very soon. For now though, thanks once again, and goodbye.